We feature family-run wineries all the time, but one with a history dating back to 1870, I think this is a first. Allow us to introduce you to Nalle Winery. Thank you all so much for joining us today. So I love the history here that dates back to the 1800s. So tell me a little bit more about how your family found this place and how it was founded.
The Henderlong family, that's my maiden name, came from Switzerland in 1865, first through Ohio, and then my grandfather's father settled here in Dry Creek Valley, and they started a sheep ranch out where Lake Sonoma is, and bought this ranch where we are in 1927, and planted the grapes that are out in front of the winery. And there were prunes behind the winery and prunes down in the creek area where the soil was richer. And my dad grew up in the house that my grandparents built, where Andy and April live right now. Yeah. And I grew up picking prunes, and my main goal was to get out of the dirt, and not be a farmer. But then you fall in love with somebody working at a winery.
Yep.
And then the rest kind of fell into place. And so now it's really, for me, it's very satisfying at my age to be able to have this in the family, and that we were able to keep it in the family and do something with it.
And you really kind of defined the whole Zinfandel movement, if you will, with Dry Creek. Tell me a little bit more about that.
When I ended up here in Dry Creek, I thought it was reasonable to make Zinfandel, and it got noticed, so we just kept making it.
And by noticed, I mean it was really noticed. Do you guys want to kind of chime in, because I think he's being a little humble here?
He is humble. He's being humble.
It was in the fall of '92. We got on the cover of the Wine Spectator, and so that really, pallets started flying out the winery, and things were sold out instantly.
Just a little noticed. At that time, with you working out, it was still a family affair at that point with your boys as well, right? So was that something that you developed a passion for early on, following in your father's footsteps?
Yes, I love being outdoors and working with my hands, and I started working when I was about 5 or 6 at the destemmer, just clearing the stems with my buddies and with the pitchfork, and then I worked on the bottling line, putting on foils and various other odd jobs, and then was around during the fermentations on the weekends or at night, because a lot of the fermentations happen when school starts in September, and so I was pretty much raised right where we sit.
And your family is very focused on sustainable farming practices. Can you tell me a little bit more about why that's important and some of the things that you implement?
Sustainability is important. Just the fact that we're still here after 35 years and the vineyard is thriving, and we want to carry it on to the next generation. I think it's easy to, a paper is a paper, but a lot of farmers, they really already farm sustainably because it means it's important to them, it's their livelihood, and we've carried on that tradition. Our old vines are dry farmed. The vineyard's certified Lodi rules, which is pretty stringent in terms of sustainability. We're working on cover cropping, and this is actually a living roof of rosemary, so the bees love it.
So what does the future hold then for you?
Well, we want to keep it running another 35 years. We have 2 kids. We're gonna have another one, but it means everything. I mean, this is a family legacy. They built the house for us, and we want to make them proud. And oh my God,
Well, before I let you go, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time, Doug, and I want to know, what is one memory from this place or some defining moment that stands out, do you think, from from all the time and energy and years that your family has collectively put into this place and this winery.
It would be the moment whenever it happened, then all the naysayers that said, because when I started this winery, white Zinfandel was the thing. The majority of wine drinkers in the United States anyway, didn't know that Zinfandel was red.
That's
They
true.
would order a glass of Zinfandel, and when the server brought them a glass of red to the table, they said, "No, I ordered Zinfandel," because they thought it was all pink. I think, so there was a wall there when I started the winery. People said, "You cannot do this. You're crazy. Don't spend your time and money trying to create a Zinfandel-based winery." And I just felt like, no, I think this can be done.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us, and cheers to your
Cheers.
family and your legacy. A big thank you to the Nalle family for sharing your special story with us today. Order yours, and thank you for your support.